Hey everybody, and welcome to this weekly update. Now, we are at weekly update 102, which means that we are fast approaching the 2-year anniversary of me doing these weekly updates. So what I want to do in the run up to that 2-year anniversary is actually do some live streams and start to talk more to the audience. I'm going to be doing it from my home office, so hopefully that's okay. What I found is doing it out on location is good fun, but sometimes the signal isn't great. And I think the last stream that I did was a good location, but actually when we watched the video back, some of the audio wasn't quite in sync with the video and it just looked a bit weird. So I'm doing this from my home office and I do have wired Ethernet connection now. This is the first stream that I've done it with wired Ethernet connections. If you haven't seen what I've been doing with my home network, do look back on my previous videos where I'm talking about the Ubiquiti equipment that I've installed in the house, and I'm dropping a video this weekend as well around how all of that's connected and how I'm finding the performance around all of that. So anyway, what we want to do in this weekly update is talk about some of the Azure news, and also I found some interesting tech stories that I want to cover off as well. Please do hit me up in the comments if you're around. I'd love to hear from you and love to hear your thoughts on some of the news that I'm going to be talking about. Now, and the first thing that I want to talk about this week is I actually passed an exam on Wednesday, I think it was. So I passed the 62193 exam. Now, that exam is the Technology Literacy for Educators exam, and it's kind of aimed at classroom educators, maybe even teachers that are looking to verify some of their skills around helping students. So it's around some of the skills that you've been asked about are things like student collaboration, how you can use ICT to be effective as an educator, and solving real world problems by teaching some of the course as well. So that was a cool exam to do. I think for me, it's about stretching myself. So I focused on a lot of technology exams. I've done a whole host of Azure exams and Windows Server exams when they were around, and SQL Server exams and things like that in the past. This one was just a bit of a stretch because I often find that I am trying to help people and trying to teach people some skills with some of the content that I'm creating as a cloud advocate. So I thought this would be quite a beneficial exam to study for. So this exam I've passed, and I've now got the Microsoft Certified Educator badge to add to my collection. So do let me know if you're studying for an exam, if you've maybe even tried out this exam. That would be awesome to hear other people's thoughts on it. But yeah, if you're studying for an exam, let me know, and we can have a chat and see if we can help each other along that study path as well. Now, in terms of Azure news, it has been pretty quiet. I think it's summer holidays for a lot of the world right now, so everybody's taking some time off, and we have had glorious weather here in Scotland, so that's been good fun. But there are some announcements that I do want to cover off. So the Azure Site Recovery team released an update roll-up, so that's number 56 that is out. So in terms of the improvements, they've looked at enabling replication and reprotecting operations and making that faster. So they're saying that it's 46% faster now to enable that replication and reprotecting operations as well. So that's pretty cool if that stat is actually true to what they're doing. We've also got, you can now enable replication between 2 Azure regions around the world. So you're no longer limited to enabling replication within your own continent, which is a pretty cool feature if that roll-up update has just enabled that. One that I'm definitely going to have a wee dig into and make sure I understand what that actually means. But if you're using Azure Site Recovery, as always, have a look at this latest update roll-up and see if you can apply it to your environment. Obviously, keeping up to date is the best way forward for a lot of things. So definitely check out this roll-up update. We're seeing a few people in the chat today as well. So hi, Andrew. Hi, Aidan. I'm not sure which exam is that you're trying to look for, Andrew, the M365 Enterprise one. Which exam code is that? I kind of go off exam codes, not the names of the exams. Now, in terms of other news, the ExpressRoute team have also announced three new endpoints. So they have new endpoints in Campinas, Sao Paulo, and Dublin. So that brings it up to 79 express routes around the world for Azure peering locations. So again, fantastic to see the team expanding that capability and adding it to additional data centers and locations for everybody to use. Now, a big one that's probably everybody's been having a look at is Azure Virtual Desktop. So the Start VM on Connect capability that we've heard a lot about, and I think has been in public preview for quite a while now, is now generally available. So this new feature will allow your end users to be able to start their virtual desktop when they need it. So if you've got schedules to turn off virtual machines when you're out of hours, and someone actually does want to do some work out of hours, they want to do some weekend work, and their virtual desktop is turned off, what will happen now is if you enable this feature is they will be able to start that virtual desktop. So they're not having to log a support ticket, not having to wait on you to turn it on, or having to wait on other capabilities. They have the ability now to start their virtual desktop with the Start VM on Connect capability. So fantastic feature. I know I've talked a lot about it in the past, and I've heard a lot of community talking about it as well. So fantastic to see that actually going live and being generally available for the community as well. So fantastic to hear. I'm just seeing Andrew see in the chat that it's the MS 100 exam that he's going for. Not one that I've tried, Andrew, but good luck with that one. Yeah, let us know how you get on with that. Now, I know I cover off the Azure news in a lot of these shows, but I did want to pick out some news that I saw pop up during the week around just general technology. So the Intel chief executive, so Pat Gelsinger, hopefully I've said his name right, has saying that there's a global chip crisis. Basically, there's I think we all have appreciated that the last 2 years or so, there's been a shortage of computing components and chipsets, Intel chips, AMD chips, and that thing have all been a bit short on supply, or there's been a lot of demand on trying to get that kind of thing. And the Intel chief executive saying here that he thinks the crisis is still to actually get worse. So he's saying it's probably going to be another 2 years before we see any proper supply chains coming back into that. Now, I'm not sure if this is a bit of a cynical approach that he's taking, and he's trying to maybe get people to buy their chips right now, because I know they actually announced their roadmap for chips right up until 2025. So could be a bit of a marketing ploy. I don't know, but I just thought it was quite an interesting story to highlight that potentially we're going to be in a shortage of CPU and stuff like that for the next couple of years, according to the Intel chief. But hey ho, let's see what happens. Although Apple have also said that is something that they're concerned about, components. So I think they had their one of their Q3 fiscal reports, and they were admitting that they have been hit by industry-wide component shortage as well, and they think it's only going to worsen in terms of their financial reports as well. So maybe it isn't just Intel trying to get a surge in the market for their chipsets and stuff like that, but interesting that it's starting to be a talking point. I think we've all known about it for quite a while, but interesting to see people actually admitting that it's hitting maybe their bottom line, and potentially this is going to be something that we are going to be faced for the next couple of years as well. So yeah, interesting story there. Now, another bit of news that I saw was California released some toughened efficiency regulations for computers at the start of July, so on the 1st of July. And what this actually means is that companies are having to maybe pull some of their ranges out of actually selling towards the Californian market. This new regulation is all about trying to help reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and also maybe look at lowering electricity bills for their end users as well. So what this has actually meant for the Dell Alienware range, so I think some of their Alienware Aurora range actually doesn't meet the standards, so they are no longer being shipped, they're no longer being sold to Californian residents. So it's interesting to see that, to be honest. I wonder how that's going to be driven in the future. As people going to be picking computers based on how energy efficient they are? Are people going to be driving their business decisions based on energy efficiency? I'd like to think there is an element of that in some people's business decision makings, because I think climate change is something that we all have to tackle. It's not something I've seen with computers here in the UK. I'm not sure if it's a global thing or if it's just a UK thing, but when you go and buy, say, a TV or a washing machine or a fridge freezer, you get energy ratings, and you see how efficient that appliance is going to be. I've never actually seen that against a PC or a laptop or a monitor. So it's quite interesting to see. I don't know if it's just high-end specs. So I think obviously the Alienware range is quite powerful, obviously a bit graphic intensive, except for things like that. So it may just be that it's affecting some of those bigger high-spec computers. But it's definitely interesting to see that people are putting in legislation to think about this. Let me know if it's something that you're thinking about, if your organisation is driving decisions around energy efficiency, and if that is driving your business changes as well. I think it's definitely something that is probably going to improve over the number of years to come, because I think even in the UK we're seeing temperatures we're not used to, and the climate change scientists are saying that the UK is going to hit 40 degrees Celsius regularly now because of climate change. So it's definitely something that we all have to think about, but just definitely interesting to see that it's affecting laws and also affecting computers being supplied and things like that. So just a little bit of an interesting news story, I think. The last news story that I want to hit today with is that I've been seeing that there's some news around fake Windows 11 installer files circulating around that are infected with malware. Now, hopefully, most of you watching will be getting the Windows 11 builds from insider channels and the like, officially from Microsoft, but there seem to be fake installers kicking about. So definitely let your friends and family who maybe aren't as tech savvy as you know that this is something to be aware of, and that Windows 11 isn't officially out. And obviously there are ways to get it within the insider program and the insider channels at the moment, but be aware that there are some fake installers kicking about out there. So yeah, some interesting news this week. Monday's a bank holiday for us in Scotland, so I'm looking forward to a long weekend, hoping it's going to stay dry and I'll be able to get some gardening done. But thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to this weekly update. As I said, hopefully we'll be doing a wee bit more of these as we run up to the 2nd anniversary of me doing these weekly updates. But yeah, stay safe, everybody, and enjoy your weekend.